Cancer is a concern for modern humans in a way that it wasn't for previous generations. Over time, we've been able to conquer disease that have killed most of us through developments in sanitation, vaccines, modern medicine, and simply living healthier and longer. But one thing that we're lagging behind on is cancer. The sad fact is that for many cancer cases, there's no cause other than simply bad luck. But our bodies are astonishing. Did you know our bodies kill one cancer cell every minute? The vast majority of cancer cells will be destroyed without you even noticing. But what happens when cancer cells go undetected and are allowed to divide indefinitely? I think the scariest facts for me are that at least half of men and a third of women will be diagnosed with some form of undetected cancer during their lives. And that for every 6 people that die, 1 will die from cancer. There's an uncomfortably high chance that at some point in my life, I may get that call from a doctor. Currently, one of the most common methods of cancer treatment is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is amazing and has saved millions of lives, but it does have wide-ranging impacts on the entire body, not just on cancer cells. But what if I were to tell you that there's a chance that chemo could have no side effects whatsoever, attacking exclusively cancer cells? Now, this is where the lunar lander comes in. How are chemotherapy and the lunar lander related? To answer this, I want you to imagine 4 things. Number 1, imagine this lunar lander was scaled down to a nano level. I'm talking even smaller than the bacteria. Number 2, imagine that this lunar lander was filled with some kind of chemotherapy. Thirdly, imagine that this lunar lander was actually a byproduct of bacteria. And finally, now this is where my project comes in. Imagine that the legs of the lunar lander can only bind on cancer cells. With all of this in place, we could deliver chemotherapy exclusively to cancer with no side effects whatsoever. So, in my research, so far, I've been able to develop the nano lunar lander itself, and I've bound the legs of the lander to normal cells. So the next phase involves targeting them towards cancer cells specifically through genetic manipulation. So this will be done by mutating the feet of the lander through mutagenesis, which is a technique for gene editing. This will then enable the legs to bind exclusively to cancer cells, curing the cancer with no side effects. Eventually, my research will make it possible to treat all cancer without any side effects, and ultimately reducing that uncomfortably high chance to something just a little bit smaller.